So anybody respond? Ramana or Venkatesh? Can you hear me? Put in the chat. We'll start the class. We'll continue the gate terminology. So as far as the we'll try to revise afterwards. We finish the complete gate terminology because we have to know the pressure angle, and before knowing the pressure angle, we have to learn the line of action, because whenever a pair of gears are in mesh, because we have to go for a pair of gears for effective power transmission, already we have discussed. So they contact each other. They contact each other along the common tangent to the base circles. Along the common tangent. Because we have base circle for one gear and another gear, we have another base circle. So we try to draw a common tangent. So just try to see in figure 15.3, that is a common tangent that is drawn. Common tangent that is drawn. So, okay. So this path is a common tangent and a normal is there. So this path is referred between the gears. So whenever this path is referred, this path, whatever this path is there, is referred to the line of action. Line of action. Because along this line of action only, because this particular tangent will be a common generator to both the involutes. Because already I told you the spur gear, we have cycloidal tooth for large gears, cycloidal profile for large gears, and for small gears we have involute profiles. The load or pressure we will be just having between the gears is transmitted along this line. So whenever anybody asks in the Viva question in the lab, where does the load or pressure act on the gear, you have to explain the line of action by drawing this diagram. So simply telling line of action is not good. So if you draw and explain, the examiner thinks you are good. But nowadays, lab, there's a lot of difference between AU and curriculum and JNTU. Okay, so some particular experiments may change. That I want to tell you. So the angle between the what is pressure angle? The angle between the line of action and the common tangent to the pitch surface. The angle between what is the line of action and the common tangent. Already line of action you have seen. So it is a common generator to both the involutes. So whenever that angle between the line of action and the common tangent to the pitch circles is known as the pressure angle. That also you can explain like this also. So what is pressure angle? And pressure angle, mind you, in some of the textbooks, is also known as the angle of obliquity, phi. It is given by phi. So what is the pressure angle? It is the angle which the common normal to the two teeth at the point of contact makes with the common tangent, makes with the common tangent to the pitch circles. That's also an alternate definition you have, apart from the definition already I told you. So the angle between the line of action and the common tangent to the pitch circles also you can tell as pressure angle or the angle of obliquity, and the standard values of pressure angles are already discussed. 14.5 degrees. Don't write 14.5 degrees. Actually, the notation is wrong previously. Maybe authors might thought like that. With the improvement of the this from R.K. Jain to I.C. Gupta or whatever KL Narayana is 14.5 degrees 30 minutes. You have to express in degrees, minutes, and seconds. And 20 degrees turbine value. You just try to see in the design of gears that will be discussed. All this. So all these are very important things we have to say, and you have to go for the alternate definition also. So what is the alternate definition? It is the angle which the common normal to the two teeth. You are drawing a common normal. No? Normal is perpendicular to the two teeth at the point of contact. It makes with the common tangent to the pitch circles. Common tangent to the pitch circles. That you have to explain. So common tangent to the pitch circles means you have to be very clear. Common tangent to the pitch circles at the pitch point. So that is very important. So you just try to see in this particular figure 15.3, OA by OP, OA by OP is cos phi. So what is OA? OA is the adjacent side. What is OP? OP is the hypotenuse. So just try to be careful because you have to know the concept of trigonometry also. Opposite by hypotenuse is sine. All that particular related to sine by cos, sine cos, tan cot, and everything. So what is OA? OA is nothing but the pitch radius. The pitch radius. Sorry, base radius. OA is the base radius. Sorry, because and OP is the pitch radius. So again, I'll repeat: OA is the base radius, and the OP is the pitch radius. So you can express that radius in terms of diameter also, base diameter by pitch diameter. So what is the diameter of the base circle? Diameter of, you just try to note all this because not only in metrology, sometimes because as per the curriculum and syllabus is asking questions in competitive exams as the problems are concerned. So it will be useful as a prior rehearsal for the DME, design of gas formulas. So dB is equal to PCD. So what is PCD? PCD is the pitch circle diameter. Pitch circle diameter into cosine of the pressure angle. It may be 14.5 degrees or 20 degrees. According to the gear, you have to take into consideration. According to the standard value, you have to take. So what is the base pitch? So we'll try to discuss the other pitches also. But as of now, we try to discuss circular pitch and diametrical pitch. Diametrical pitch already I have discussed. So what is base pitch? Base pitch is nothing but it is the distance measured around the base circle. Distance, you might have seen in the terminology now. As far as the gate terminology, what is base circle, what is a pitch circle, and everything in the previous class. So it is the distance measured around the base circle from the origin. So you have to take some reference from the origin of the involute on the tooth to the origin of the similar involute of the next tooth. From the origin of the involute on the tooth to the origin of a similar involute on the next tooth. So you have to learn from that because whenever anybody asks where you measure the base pitch, exactly at the base circle point, the position is also very important. So whenever anybody asks where do you measure the circular pitch, you have to say exactly at the location of the pitch circle. Same, this particular wording will be same from the origin of the involute on the tooth to the origin of a similar involute on the next tooth. So already we have seen the circular pitch. If you want, we'll go back and try to see the circular pitch also. So circular pitch also can be defined as arc distance measured around the pitch circle. So what I mean to say, so it is measured from the flank of one tooth to the similar flank in the next tooth. So what is flank actually? So in the case of screw threads, before we used to deal in AU syllabus, screw threads first and gear, but he has changed. We can have the flexibility, but what is flank actually? It is the line joining the crest and root of a, what is crest? It is the highest peak. So here also you can say highest point or the topmost position of the tooth. And what is crest? It is the bottommost position of the tooth space. So that you have to see. Even flank also is very important. Flank definition is also very important. So circular pitch, base pitch, and diametrical pitch. There are three types of pitches in the spur gear. So here, mind you, we are only going for the measurement of spur gear. We are only learning spur gear metrology. So it is a diametrical pitch. It is expressed as the number of teeth per inch of the PCD. So I want to tell flank also. I might have skipped. So what is flank? Flank is the part of the tooth surface which is lying below the pitch surface. This already we have seen. And face is the part of the tooth surface which is above the pitch surface. So last class I've dealt up to face and flank. So just try to see the diagram. The diagram you have to practice, my dear friends. You have to draw, you have to practice that particular diagram and this also. This particular diagram related to the meshing of two gears. What is the line of action? What is the pressure angle? So here you can see one gear and the other gear which are in mesh. So this is the common normal And this is the tangent, and we just try to join it. The pressure angle will be the angle between the line of action, and the common tangent to the pitch circle. So that is there. So what is base circle? Already we have seen. You can say it is a distance or arc distance, no problem. But mostly that arc distance will be only dealt in the pitch circle. So you can just say simply base pitch here, the distance measured around the base circle from the origin of the involute on one tooth to the origin of a similar involute on the next tooth. You can say on the tooth means you may have some confusion. So instead of saying from the origin of the involute on one tooth to the origin of a similar involute on the next tooth. So because the profile of a gear is an involute, so because we are having the particular tooth profile is also very important as part of the quality check. So what is base pitch? Is nothing but base circumference. So what is base circumference? Circumference is equal to pi d. So here we try to take the base pitch into consideration, base circumference. We try to take the circular pitch into consideration, it is the pi diameter of the pitch circle there. So here, because it is the base pitch, pi into diameter of base circle. What is diameter of base circle? db cos phi. Sorry, it is here you might have represented some particular thing wrong. You just try to see it, because whenever we are telling the diameter of the base circle, you should not say capital D here. So just try to be careful as the suffixes are concerned. This particular B. So whenever you try to just refer to the base pitch, it is the base circumference pi into diameter of base circle by number of tooth. N he has put here, but in most of the textbooks it may be N, T and Z. You try to see, suppose in the design of gears, whatever you are using in the design part, you try to follow the standard notation. It's not that N is wrong here, but you can either follow N, capital T or Z. But Z only in practicals we try to follow Z when we are going for indexing, but either in the derivations or in the theory or in the problems, you try to follow either capital N or T. So what is pi d? What is d by n? It is pi. What is d by n? It is m. So here, what is m? M is a module. Again, if you try to go back, what is module? You just try to see. Module is the length of the pitch circle diameter by per tooth. Length of the pitch circle diameter per tooth. So that you have to see. So that is very important thing you have to follow. So that is pi m cos phi. Base pitch is pi m cos phi. So that is very important. And involute function you can have, but as far as the fundamental principle of the involute, you have to just follow the basis from engineering graphics or engineering drawing. This is a locus of the end of the thread. Suppose you try to take a thread and unwound it. You can say twine thread or an ordinary thread used for stitching, or twine thread sometimes you may use for different purposes. That application you just try to see as the threads are concerned. But this is the locus of the end of the thread. So you have to imagine unwound from the base circle. If you unwound from the base circle. But mathematically, you can define involute function as delta. Delta is equal to tan phi minus phi. So what is phi here? Phi is the pressure angle. Suppose you just try to see this particular diagram, you can understand better. So this is the pitch circle. So this is the involute form, and this is the base circle. You just try to follow the basics, because every time the base circle will be beneath the pitch circle, and the particular arc intercept, this is A, this is C, B, and you just try to see how you got the tan phi minus phi. Or else this is not, it will be useful in the examination or not, but the fundamentals you have to know. So what is this one? This OA. What is OA? It is the base circle radius RB. What is OP? It is the pitch circle radius. So whenever this is a, suppose you try to say, because in strength of materials or some in center of curvature you might have got in bending of chord beams, I think, or bending of chord bars. So here it may be taken as O as the center of curvature, and from here to the point where the base circle is there, it is OA, that is base circle radius, and from O to P it is the pitch circle radius RP. And what is BP? BP is nothing but it is the involute profile of the gate tooth. That's what we want, because it is the involute profile we are considering for the general applications, not heavy duty applications. So what is AP here? AP is the tangent to the base circle at A. So we are trying to draw a tangent to the base circle at a point A. So this are the geometrical construction you have to have. And you know, because in other subjects like design, you have to carry the circular or some of the things that we should not tell you. As a responsible student or engineer, you have to draw the diagrams and try to just project correctly your derivations, because derivations are there in this particular chapter as far as the tooth thickness are concerned. Constant chord method and the one-year gate tooth caliper method. So here you are drawing AP is a tangent to the base circle at A. Angle AOC. What is here? Phi. It is a pressure angle. So what is the pressure angle? Already you have seen the definition. Now what is OA? OA. OA is equal to OP cos phi. Or what is cos phi? OA is nothing but adjacent. OP is known as the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse. So that is the, and what is OA? OA is equal to RB. What is RB? Base circle radius. OP. What is OP? Pitch circle radius. So RB is equal to RP cos phi. Or because it is in terms of radius, you can change this into dB. Base circle diameter is equal to pitch circle diameter into cos phi. Pitch circle diameter into cos phi. So this is the COB. Here you just try to see COB. This is a small increment, that is delta. That is nothing but it is the involute function of phi. So what is the, by the definition of involute, what is involute? Involute is nothing but the length AP, but in actual things you have to take that as the arc distance, arc AB. Arc AB. Length AP is equal to arc AB. But what is tan phi? Tan phi is equal to opposite by adjacent. So what is opposite? AP here. So if you try to take the triangle AOP into consideration, tan phi is equal to opposite by adjacent. Opposite is AP, adjacent is OA. Adjacent is OA. But what is OA? OA is equal to RB, base circle radius. But what is AP? AP you have taken as RKB. RKB by RP. So all this you have to take into consideration. But what is tan phi here? The summation of this pressure angle plus the involute function. So phi plus delta is equal to tan phi, or delta, that is the involute function, is tan phi minus phi. So it is very important, this particular derivation we ask in the short answer, but you have to know from the basics all this particular things as far as the notations regarding the terminology regarding the line of action, what is pressure angle, what is involute function. That's very important. So just try to just touch helix angle. We are not taking into consideration helical gates here. But so what is helical angle? It is the acute angle. You just try to see. This is the helix angle. This is the illustration of the helix and lead angles. So it is the acute angle between the tangent to the helix and the axis of the cylinder on which the tooth are cut. So it is a helix angle is given by alpha. Most of the textbooks it is standard notation. So lead angle. So what is a lead angle? It is the acute angle between the tangent to the helix and a plane perpendicular to the axis of the cylinder. So you have to say when a plane is perpendicular to the axis of the cylinder is the lead angle, and helix angle is almost, we can say, at the axis of the cylinder on which it's cut. Mostly this is a parallel. type and this is perpendicular. So both somewhat as far as the definitions are concerned, you may be get confused, but you just try to see the basics. If you try to see the diagram here, you can explain. So this is the helix which are cut on the tooth of a gear, and this is the tangent. So this is the tangent to the helix and the axis of the cylinder. So what is the axis of the cylinder? This is the axis of the cylinder and this is the tangent. So just try to see the terminology, you can understand. So this is the also the angle between the tangent to the helix and the normal or plane perpendicular to the axis of the cylinder. So that is very important. So last class I told you the perpendicular and squareness is very much similar as far as the tolerances of form and position are concerned or geometric features are concerned. So we'll just try to touch upon this backlash and we'll try to discuss extensively. So what are the factors affecting the backlash? Because center distance is one of them. The pitch line velocity is one of them. V is equal to 5 by 60. The different thermal properties or the lubrication is also very important when you are supporting backlash, because you have to use the correct type of lubricant whenever you are want to just specify the definite amount of backlash, because backlash is like entropy in thermodynamics, you can say. Because why I'm comparing, because it's a vague term, because you cannot say, if anybody says it's clearance, it's wrong, because backlash is nothing but the distance which a gear can be rotated. So you have to keep one gear, because there are two pairs of gears. You try to keep one gear fixed and try to rotate the other gear to bring its non-working flank in contact with the teeth of mating gear. There are alternate definitions when we come to the measurement of spur gear or gear measurement. One by one terms, we just try to expand the definition or go for the alternate definition. So just try to see, because backlash cannot be defined only for a single gear. You have to define for a pair of gears. So you have to define like that. So that is also very important. 15.6, you just try to see the illustration of backlash, because some say simply clearance, but that's not. Clearance is different and backlash is different. It's a vague term, just like entropy and thermodynamics. Suppose you want to have the basic tooth proportions, you just try to have this table. Addendum, as far as the 20 degrees pressure angle is concerned, we have to take as addendum as one module or simply M. But whenever you are taking addendum and addendum terms already explained. So if you want to, we can repeat again. So the addendum is 1.25 module. These are the standard proportions you have to take as far as the design of gears are concerned. Okay. So as far as 14.5 degrees, it is 1.157 M. All this in some of the standard textbooks he has explained. What is the, because it is somewhat this addendum is equal to addendum plus clearance. Addendum is M, clearance will be 0.157. What is M plus 0.157? You are getting as 1.157. There are mathematical relations or formulas, you have to know that. So what is tooth depth in case of 20 degrees pressure angle? It is 2.25 M. These are the standard, they like design data. So the data will be provided, the design data tables will be provided to you. You'll have in the gearbook design data. Because gear design data, screw thread design data books, valves, bearings, all we have in mechanical. You have to have that particular or the handbook of mechanical design, design engineering. All this will be in the library, or in the case of the gear manufacturing, you'll have in the design department of that particular industry. 2.25 M and this is 2.157 M. So just try to see what is this. Tooth depth in case of 14.5 degrees pressure angle is addendum plus module. Whenever you are taking the tooth depth into consideration, here also you can take, addendum plus module. You are getting up to 2.25. So what is the circular 2 thickness? So you can simply say 2 thickness is pi m by 2, or same for that. You may be having some here, some particular spelling mistake or some, both are pi m by 2. So you just try to see, and we have that, we have one of the chart, we have some particular question that is asked. Okay, we'll just try to see. All these terms are there in theory of machines. Okay, Durga Rao is not only for Durga Rao section A, because it is for both the sections, and those students who have not attended the dynamics of machinery class, or it will be a revision for the particular students. Okay, okay, it is revision here. It is somewhat type of revision here. Okay, so just try to have that. Okay, don't because don't think I'm just discouraging. You can have that. Already we have, but I want all of the people to again refresh your particular knowledge where you have learned in dynamics of machinery. In theory of machines also you have. So fillet radius 0.3 m in case of 20 degrees. Okay, you have, but just try to see the values, the standard values. So as far as the relation between various elements of gas, you have the module. The formula is the pitch circle diameter by number of tooth, and the circular pitch is given by same. Circular pitch is given by PC is equal to pi m, and the outer diameter, the outside diameter or D naught, is given by the pitch circle diameter plus 2m, and the base circle diameter is given by. So there's a relation between the base circle diameter and the pitch circle diameter. Already we have seen dB is equal to dP cos phi, or RB is equal to RP cos phi. All that you have to learn. Okay, so all this are some important relations between the various elements of gas. So in order to find out the particular elements of the gate tooth in terms of module M, outside diameter B naught, and the base circle diameter dB, we have this. So we are not worried about the helical gear, because you just try to see in the design part. Here we have only in the syllabus spur gear metrology. That is only for the straight tooth spur gear. That's also we have to be very specific. So I'll just try to skip this particular slide or this particular topic as of now for the bevel gear and the helical gear and the worm and worm gear. So what are, we'll just try to, the last 20 minutes, we'll just try to discuss this. If any revision is required as far as the gate terminology, we'll just try to see. And we'll just try to discuss the sources of error in the manufacture of gauge. Just like in errors in screw threads, we'll just try to discuss in the next chapter as far as this 5th unit is concerned. Here we have the sources of error in manufacture of gauge. Because you may ask, state the various sources of error in manufacture of gas. It may be a question that can be asked mostly in the short answers. We'll just try to see that. So what are the various sources of error? So as far as this various sources of error, the gas are generally manufactured by two methods. One is the reproducing method, and the other one is the generative method. I don't know, another chart is come. So just try to see. Say some of the people, other general doubts can be asked in the chart, the personal chart or something, because you don't ask for something like notes. We are giving voluntarily, because sometimes we think it is a topic-wise this doubt, and we are again going for chart. That's somewhat disturbing. Okay, just try to comply with the chart, but the technical doubts should be gone. So I don't know whether your particular subject teacher has taught this the method of manufacturing of gas in any production technology. Metal cutting is not there, I know, but you have to be very careful as far as the things are concerned. You just try to see. I don't want no need of sorry, but I'm telling you because sometimes we'll be disturbed because the classes for the two sections. After the class, you can have the phone number or something you can chat in the WhatsApp. Okay. So what is the reproducing method? Reproducing method, the gas are generally made by the reproducing method or the generating method. But in the reproducing method, you are having the involute cutter as a tool. A formed involute cutter, just like a gear cutter. Generally, people say the gear cutter as a tool, but you just try to be specific because it is an involute cutter. It is used to cut the gear tooth. It is used to cut the gear tooth. So the involute cutter will be cutting the gear tooth. But if the involute cutter is itself is not manufactured or made in the tool room as per the specifications of the, just like the specifications of the single point cutting tool, the errors will be generated in the gears. The errors will be generated in the gears. So that is very important. So the errors will be generated in the gears. And what are the errors that are generated by the reproducing method? We'll discuss now. Because the first error may be the error due to the manufacture of the cutting tool. So what is a cutting tool here? It is the involute cutter. So whenever we have the second error, any error, the error may be the error due to the positioning of the tool relative to the work. That relative positioning, that's very important because in screw threads also we have different errors that, like periodic error or pitch error or different types of pitch error. We just try to see in screw threads also we have that particular error due to the position of the tool relative to the work. That also is very important because the machinist or the person who are responsible for the manufacture of gas, they'll be trained and the correct setting should be there or the correct positioning should be there. So what is the other error you might have seen? We have not discussed much because in 3.1 that lab was we have done in about 2 weeks time. So that is the errors due to the incorrect indexing of the gear plan. If you are not going for the correct indexing, just like simple or compound, you will have the error in the manufacture. You will have the error in the manufacture of gas. You will have this particular error. That is very important. So that is the reproducing method. Actually, he has not elaborated. In some of the textbooks, he has elaborated. You just try to see. He has just given incorrect profile of the cutting tool. Okay, but that incorrect profile is how you get the incorrect profile. Incorrect profile you just only get in incorrect manufacturing or the particular manufacturing of the cutting tool itself by not following the definite angles like the single point cutting tool, and naturally the profile of the gear tooth will be affected because of the tool. Already we have seen that incorrect positioning of the tool in relation to the work and incorrect indexing. But what is the other method in the manufacture of gears? We have the, what is the other method? We have the generating method. So what is the tool in the generating method? We have the hob. That's why I told you prior to this particular, whether it is metrology or manufacturing technology 3 or in some of the universities manufacturing process 3 or any other thing, if production technology or production drawing has been finished there, you might have known the particular how hob looks. So just try to have a look at Hob as far as the three authors are concerned, production drawing. So that particular Hob should be manufactured as per the drawing, because if there are errors in the manufacture of the Hob itself or the cutting tool itself by the generating method, you have the errors in the gears. And same, the second one is same, the error or incorrect positioning of the tool in relation to the work. Incorrect positioning of the tool in relation to the work. So as far as the tool is concerned, in the generating method, it is a Hob. As far as the reproducing method, it is the involute cutter. So just try to see the differences in the reproducing method and the generating method. You may ask the question as he likes. You may not be exactly give direct question like asking of sources of errors. You may ask what are the errors in the reproducing and the generating method in the manufacturing of gas. You may ask like that also. So what is the third point? So third point is the errors in the relative motion of the tool to the work. That's very important. So relative motion of the tool and the work. So what is work here? What is the workpiece here? The gear. What is the raw material of the gear? It is a gear blank. So you have to take the gear blank diameter into consideration. The outside diameter of the blank into consideration, DO. That's also very important. You have seen in the table. What is that? That's also very important. So all the three parameters, like here, you have seen in the generative method also, the errors in the relative position of the tool and the blank during the generative operation. You do not have to say during the operation is enough, but because it is a generative method, it is the generative operation. So what are the gear operation requirements? Before going to the gear measurements or elements of gear measurement we have, we'll just try to finish off the gear operation requirements in this class, 10 minutes, and then start afresh the spur gear measurement. Like we have different terminology or different parameters here. Here we have the runout. Already I told you runout. We have the axial runout, radial runout, and the third one is the side runout or wobble. We have the pitch. We have pitch. We have the base pitch. We have the, how you remember the types of pitch in spur gear? BCD, base pitch PB, C, PC, circular pitch, PD, diametrical pitch. I just try to just have the memory management also, how not only the how to understand the particular topics or the terms, but we have to specify. But in case of screw thread, we have only one pitch. Profile, we have been discussing a lot about the profile. Not all the parameters are correct and profile is not correct. You have to reject that gear. Lead is suppose what is in the case of a screw thread, what is lead? Lead is nothing but it is the axial distance traveled by the screw for one revolution. But what is the particular lead in the case of this gears? Lead is the axial distance of a helix for one complete turn. You have to say that. So that is very important, because it is a very important parameter in the quality of gas, because you have to have the control of lead. That we'll try to discuss elaborately in all the particular parameters we'll try to discuss. So lead is one, backlash is one. Backlash already we have discussed. Only one definition, but I'll try to give the alternate definition and I'll try to discuss elaborately what are the factors affecting backlash. Because like the thermal aspects, just like if you are trying to take the material of the gear into consideration, you have to take the coefficient of linear expansion also there. And two thickness, we have two thickness, gear two thickness. The two instruments we'll just try to discuss, and the two derivations regarding the constant chord method and the gear tooth vernier caliper we'll try to discuss. The constancy of the gear, suppose the gear is not concentric, means what is the opposite of concentric? Eccentric. So that is there. we have the alignment, because alignment is a very important term even in automobiles. The alignment of wheels in a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, and composite errors, total composite error and two-to-two composite error. We'll just try to discuss all the 9 parameters starting from tomorrow. But as of now, we'll try to go for the gear operation requirements. This is not in the syllabus, but we just try to have the classification of gears according to the operation requirements, because they can be used for high speed gears, high power gears, and precision gears. Nowadays, we are more concerned about the precision gears in the recent scenario or in today's world. So the maintenance is also a very important part as far as the machine or a gear is concerned. Or whenever a shaft is worn out, you have to replace the shaft, or a bush is worn out, you have to replace the shaft. So you have to have the maintenance also. That is a different thing, but you have to maintain a constant gearing ratio. So as far as the provision of contact along the full length of the tooth, that's also you have to have, because that's what we are discussing about the lead, because some of the parameters, the operation requirements will depend upon the spur gear measurement parameters like lead or something. Because the second one, provision of contact along the full length of the teeth, will be regarding the lead. It is very important. Don't say lead. Pencil lead is different. Here it's lead, because lead in case of a screw thread is the number of starts into pitch. L is equal to NP in case of a screw thread. That we'll try to discuss at that particular point of time. So what is backlash? Backlash is nothing but it is a play in the gap, or sometimes I don't want to use the clearance, but some of the textbooks we are using. But what I told you, backlash should be defined for a pair of gears. You try to lock one gear or fix one gear and try to rotate the other gear along the non-working flank of the other tooth. That's very important. So I just don't want to specify clearance in backlash. You might be confused. Clearance is different, backlash is different. So the important factor in the case of high-speed gears is that we have variations in the gearing ratio. You have to maintain the gearing ratio constant, but it's not so easy when you put into practical application. That is very important. So we'll just try to wind up, because last class also when I touched this, it was gone. I have another 5 minutes, so I'll wind up before 2 minutes. Okay. So as far as the particular gears are concerned, when they're operating at high speeds, considerable acceleration will be there for the small gearing ratio, but you have to maintain the gearing ratio, constant gearing ratio. That's why this accelerations will be disturbing. That is, we try to compare this metrology measurement with the design engineering, like large dynamic loads, they damage the gear tooth. So like that, we have the high power gears also. They operate at very low speeds, unlike the high speed gears, but the teeth have to transmit large force. Gear tooth have to transmit. So where the teeth will transmit the large forces along the line of action. Where the load will be there on the gear, where will be the transmitting the larger force along the line of action. Because there will be the viva questions like this in the lab, metrology lab. So the gear tooth for this purpose should be having the full possible contact along the tooth length. So that's very important as far as the high power gears are concerned. So all these are very important, my dear friends, not only for the metrology, for the theory of machines and the design part. So the precision gears will be having the constant gear ratio, and they're generally used for counting and timing purposes only, or in the measurement, we have the indexing devices, we have that also. You just try to see these gears are generally used for counting and timing, but in the measuring instruments also you have these gears as far as the dial indicators are concerned, or they will be having a small phase width and small module. That's very important parameter in the gear terminology. So with that, we'll try to end now as far as this particular topic is concerned, or this particular class is concerned. Don't mind if I just try to, at that point of time, if I'm getting disturbed, so you try to have the technical doubts. Don't say it is already over, because it is my duty to again repeat I know because as a mechanical engineer, I also been a BTech student there long time back at Getam. So I know the syllabus of each and every subjects. Okay, thank you for patient listening. And tomorrow I will go for the spark air measurement. Thank you for patient listening.